I'm Dr. Stacey Burke from West Coast Family Chiropractic. I'm here with Helena Ederveen, holistic health coach, clinical nutritionist, Ericksonian practitioner.
And certified master practitioner in neurolinguistic programming.
Helena's going to tell us a little bit about exactly what she does.
Well, in the first place, what I find very important, that people begin to understand that any symptom what they have, if it is snoring, sleep apnea, fibromyalgia or whatever, that there is an underlying cause. And these underlying causes are very important to actually establish them, because otherwise you are on a wild goose hunt.
So what you're saying then is that the symptoms aren't necessarily where the problem is.
No. That is the symptomology, and if you only focus upon a symptom, you only focus upon one fragment, but you don't know really what is happening underneath. Why did you get to that symptom? That's important to understand.
Wow, that's an interesting concept, Helena. What type of cases do you see most commonly?
Well, people come to me, let's start first with snoring. People come to me because most of the time it is a partner who told him that they have to stop snoring, right? And people try mouth guards, they try whatever they try, but it is not dealing with the underlying issues. So I explain then to them that quite often, to keep it very simple, every person who snores, they have a problem with their carbohydrate metabolism. That's one of them.
Wow.
And then once you understand that and you see the broader basically outline of it, from what all leads to that, then you can start to put a very good educational process in its place. A person can stop snoring within 2 months, and if they still would snore, you know what I say then to them? What have you been doing?
Wow. So, hold on, if I understand correctly, the snoring is just a symptom of other problems going on inside.
Yes. And if you leave, you see people come and they say to me, yeah, Helena, but it runs in the family. My father snored or my mother snored. And I said, so what? The point is that when you can isolate, in the first place, you know, you have an issue with the carbohydrate metabolism. And then if you know exactly, based upon that comprehensive biochemical analysis what we do, what actually is leading to that, then you actually start to weed it out. So there's no guessing.
So I don't snore, but let's say I come in and I'm snoring. What's the first step in the process that you undertake with somebody like me?
Well, the first step is that I will always assess if a person is really ready and willing to change what they are doing. And I asked them, I said, well dear, if you want to have good outcomes, it needs to be a two-way street. You get a 100% commitment from me, and you need to give that commitment too by implementing and making choice for yourself that you want to stop snoring, for example, and improve your health.
Wow, that sounds like pretty powerful stuff.
It is very powerful stuff.
So, okay, let's say, well, what's another common condition that you would see?
Well, another common condition is that people come to me and they say, Helena, I have sleep apnea. Now, you have, of course, different forms of sleep apnea, but most of the time, the people I see, they have started to snore for a very long time. And it is very important to understand that if you haven't dealt with that, say, just let's look at a car. If you have a puncture in your tire and you put a little bit of Blue-Tack in and you keep your fingers crossed and you hope you will be right, mate, that is not going to solve the problem. It leads, and then maybe at one point when you're driving your car and you haven't paid attention, then you see pieces of rubber flying. And you think, my God, where did that come from? Well, that's your connective tissue, dear, and that leads to sleep apnea.
Wow.
Right? So you need to understand what's happening, take the steps, and then change your reality, because your body is designed to win.
Well, that's very interesting. Now, let's say I'm not a snorer, I don't have sleep apnea that I'm aware of, because we know that the symptoms are just a manifestation of a bigger problem.
Yeah.
What else could somebody, for example, who may not necessarily have those symptoms, how would they how would they find out, or how would you find out if there's an underlying problem building before it becomes a symptom?
Well, that's very simple, because the very comprehensive biochemistry what we do, we can do that here in Australia and in the United States, right? So, and then we get a very good insight, and it leads to a prescription of health report what is between 100 and 120 pages.
Wow.
Now, that details everything what is challenging your health. And then I break it down for people. Then I say, listen, we start by the beginning. So I put little stickers in, but I read every report, and then I put little stickers in there, and then I say, listen, you can read the whole report, but you're going to follow exactly the steps as I have based on what I saw in your biochemistry, right? And if you do it your way and think, well, I will be right, mate, then we won't get the outcomes what we set out to achieve. That's how simple it is.
So you can assess the biochemistry,
Yeah.
lay a plan out,
Yes.
follow that plan
Yeah.
specifically,
Yes.
and if that's done, pretty much assume that you're going to have a reasonable outcome.
You do, because
and then be able to reassess it later.
that's right. So what we can see in this biochemistry, exactly what kind of carbohydrates you need, how many carbohydrates you need for breakfast, lunch and dinner. The same for the fats and the proteins. So, and when you implement that, you start to create positive shifts. We can also see in the biochemistry if you have underlying dental problems. It shows up.
So let me rehash.
Yeah.
Snoring, sleep apnea, just to name a couple,
Yeah.
are some symptoms of some larger, possibly underlying problems related back to carbohydrate metabolism.
Yeah, that's right. But what impairs your endocrine system?
Wow, we're getting into some pretty big stuff here. Well, let me say this. How would somebody find out more information if they felt that there's possibly some underlying health issues, they need a more in-depth analysis? How could they go about getting in touch with you?
Well, that is very simple. They can go to my website. They can go to www.helenaederveen.com, or they can send me an email, helena@helenaederveen.com. However, they need to put in the subject line request free analysis, free preliminary basically consultation.
So www.helenaederveen.com or Helena at
helenaederveen.com. That's the email.
And in the subject line put,
well, that in the subject line you put that you apply for a free consultation, for a free preliminary analysis. That's what you
so there's no risk associated with
No.
the consultation.
And I take it a step further. If for one or another reason I think that I cannot help that person for whatever reason, then I won't take him on.
Well, that sounds pretty good to me.
Well, it is pretty good, because I do not want to waste your time or my time. That's the bottom line too.
That's a great approach. I'd like to thank Helena for getting together with me today. Again, that's www.helenaederveen.com or Helena at
helenaederveen.com.
Thank you.
And in the subject line.